welcome back to Small Geeky Chica Figures. Today we're continuing with our Nendoroid Collection series with entry number 57, Kenma Kozume School Uniform Version from the hit show Haikyu, Nendoroid number 975. So this is the third Haikyu Nendoroid we're seeing that is wearing his school uniform. We've seen Oikawa, we saw most recently Bokuto, and now we have Kenma. Strangely enough, we don't have any of the Karasuno boys in their school uniform. We only have Hinata and Kayama in like their training sweats. But yeah, so this is my second Kenma that I have. I have his original in his volleyball uniform, but this one is also one of the cute little bonus ones where we can see he comes with his little PSP because he's always playing video games in this little backpack. If we take a closer look, he also comes with a backdrop similar to the other bonus Haikyu characters that have come with different little backdrops. Looks like his one is inside of a train. And then we see him here again playing with his PSP. It looks like he has about 2 faces, but we'll take a closer look when we actually open the box. And yeah, he's one of those ones that looks like he has his hand in his pocket. So we'll see how this one works. Like, I really like how the Futaba one works, but I've seen like Taiki from Your Name, and I think even Kayama had this kind of setup, and I wasn't too fond. It was sometimes really hard to get it in the right position. So we'll see how it works out with Kenma. But yeah, here we have him waving in his school uniform. And I believe most recently they actually released a Kudo one in his school uniform so they can be buddies. But let's get this little boy out of his box and take a closer look. Before we take a closer look at Kenma, I just wanted to show you the little backdrop really quick. So yeah, it is a train station. Pretty much at twilight, almost night, dusk. When the sun is almost gone, Kenma going home. So you can use this backdrop if you want to do some nerd photography, although this has been in the box for a while, and I don't think I saw this so much with some of the other ones, but this one you can see the paper already kind of scratching. So if you don't mind having that in your photo or knowing how to Photoshop that out, might also help. But yeah, here is the little backdrop. So let's put this back in its box. And now we have Kenma. So let's look at him in his blister, but first let's look at his booklet like usual. So pretty normal for the most part. It does show you how to stand him in his stand when he's wearing the backpack. And he also has just like a regular brace right there. And then it shows you how to use the backdrop with the paperboard because it comes with this piece, as we've seen a lot before, that holds it up. But other than that, it's pretty standard. Like we had guessed, he only has the 2 faces. He has the backpack and the PSP. He has 2 extra arms, plus one he has on, his default ones. And then he has part C and D, which I believe are if you want to put his hands in his pocket. So it makes it look like they're in there. And it has one for each hand. So I'm guessing C is for his right hand and D is for his left hand. We'll actually see when we put it on. It should make sense. And then these hands can hold his PSP. But yeah, pretty simple, as we've seen a lot with these secondary Nendoroids when they come in different outfits. Sometimes they have a lot less moving parts. But you can always swap out the faces with your other Kenma if you have his standard volleyball one. So yeah, let's get him out of his blister. Okay, here we have little Kenma. See if I can grab him. So I definitely have opened him before because he would have otherwise been wrapped in plastic like we saw with Bokuto the last time. But here we have Kenma and his cute little face and his school uniform where he has his like sweater. I don't know if it's a sweater vest, I don't remember. His blazer, little tie, shirt, and pants. So pretty standard kind of Nendoroid, very adorable. And then here we have his secondary face where he's less amused, and at first I thought these were smudges that I had left on his face, but no, they are sweat drops too. So when he's not amused or he's tired and doesn't want to keep doing and he wants to relax. Like I said, he comes with his little backpack, which is interesting. So it has these little spots that go over his shoulder, and they do have little joints there so they can move, but it also has the little notch right there that'll go into here, and then it has the hole here so you can actually use the other stand to hold it on. I wonder if this is probably a lot easier to put without his head on, so we'll try that later, but we'll just leave this here for now. He has his PSP. Last time he came with a phone. This time he comes with a little video game console, handheld console. And then it has this little nudge, so I'm assuming one of these hands can, yeah, so like this. I don't know if you can see, but there is a tiny hole right there, and this little piece right there should be able to go into it. You can aim it correctly, which I think is a little hard to do because you can't really see what you're doing as you're doing it. And right now it doesn't seem to like me. Yeah, let's see if we can get it in there. Okay, looks like it's in there. So that's how he can hold the hand, the PSP, which is the one hand we've seen him do on the box. And on the other one, the other hand, see, does not have any hole, so you can only use it on the one hand, but you can put it so it seems like he's holding it like that. This is interesting. A lot of times with these ones, when you come with hands like this, they don't have that extra hole to secure it a little bit more, but I guess because this one's technically, he's going to hold it with just one hand, it was just a little extra security. Like usual, he comes with his bonus stand, which looks like a volleyball and is in his school colors, which we've seen with the Karasuno boys, with Oikawa, and with Bokuto. They all had similar ones to this in their school colors. And then it comes up close with his extra joint and his standard stand right there. And I'm assuming the other one that goes with the backpack is down here, which we'll try to get in a sec. But before that, yeah, I wanted to take a look at these, which are basically the typical kind of in the pocket extra hand. And see, I think I saw a letter here that's very hard to read. But yeah, so this one right there, it says R, which is, you can't probably see it on video, but trust me, it says R there, so that's his right hand. So I'm assuming if I grab this one, it should have all L on it. Yeah, it does, even though it looks almost more like an I, just because of where the paint is. It's very hard to read, so you might have to take a closer look than I can give you on the camera right now. But yes, this one says R and this one says L, so you know which hand you're putting it into. And basically it should work just like these little hands where you just pop them off and then you can just put them in there. So instead of like with some other Nendoroids where it's just the whole arm, this one you can actually like switch them out. Because I think like Kayama's and Taiki's, I think it was their whole arm was just the pocket version. It wasn't just like a little hand part that you could change. And it's also interesting about these bent arms is they do have some articulation there a little bit, so you can move around like that. It's just not a whole full piece, so that way you can put them in slightly different positions. I think that's where we saw him either holding the PSP or like waving with his hands, which you would use his standard hands and you would just swap those out. Okay, let me cover these. Which one will switch? Which one will switch, guys? Do you remember? I'm gonna cover this for a second so they don't fall out. And I'm just gonna put the cover back on and turn it around. I just want to see. Get this out of here. So yeah, we can see in here that it has the little stand for the paperboard, but it also has this one that you use for when you want him to stand with his backpack on. So let's see if we can get that out. Tape. No. And I almost dropped it, but I got it. Okay, let's flip them back over. Okay, we are gonna take off his head for a second. have a feeling this will probably be easier to put on without his head there. And then it's just like, how do I position the shoulders correctly? Kind of get it in there. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Then he has his straps on. And then we have the head. And there is Kenma with his backpack. And then I think this just goes in there, right? Yeah, so the one with the ball would go into here. And the one out goes into there. This is... See, so you would definitely need the stand for this one. It doesn't, you can't just have him stand out without the stand if you want to have the backpack on. So he looks like this. And then it's going into there. If you try to use it without the stand, it will be too long, so his feet don't reach the ground. So if you want him to stand without the stand, this is not the way to do it. Let's get this out. And then I put it, okay. It can go in there quite securely. I'll just put that back there for now. And I just want to know, because I don't think this one's actually like a hexagon, which this one's a circle. So I don't think this will go in. No. So if you want to stand him with the backpack, you need to use that one and this stand. If you want him to just stand on his own, like we do with our spin around, that won't be possible with the backpack on. So that's a good thing to note. So I'll decide whether I actually want to spin him with a stand around. Maybe I probably will have to use this, which is not a big deal, but you know, I like to try to make them stand without it. Especially in our ending spin around. I hope you stick around to the end of the videos to see those, because I also eventually I'll upload a short of it onto YouTube, but at the end of every video I have a 360 spin around of the figure in whatever pose we end up choosing, which is what we're gonna do now. I was thinking of doing this pose. Yeah, if I want to do this pose for my thumbnail picture and for my spin around, I'm going to have to use the stand, because you can't get him to do it without it. And it's funny, in these ones, they have definitely photoshopped the standing help. But yeah, we're going to do Kenma with that. So we're going to have to switch out both arms and both hands. We already have the backpack on, so we don't have to do anything about that. And then that's pretty much it. He's a decently simple Nendoroid, I want to say, compared to some others. Like I said, all these bonus ones are often much more simplified than their main Nendoroid, I guess we can say. It's not action pose, it's just very chill, everyday kind of thing, so they're much easier. And he is also much newer. Forget what year he was released, but he definitely came out many years after the original Haikyu ones. So it's something like that. Sorry, it was a little off. And then now this arm. Completely get rid of that one. And then this is his left. So let's get his left arm. Remember, with Nendoroids, it's always their left, their right, even though we might not be looking at them in the same direction, in the same perspective. So, and then we just have to aim it. It looks so funny when it's not aimed. It looks like his hand's like, eh. But, let's see. How do we do this? How do we do this? Right? these are the times where I wish they had like little tutorials to tell you, you do it like this, you put it like that, you use this part, and that's how it works. Because honestly, I'm like, how? Looks like it's on his stomach. Right? And I'm sure there are people who are like really good at doing this, but I am not. I'm not one of those people. So let's take a close look at the box to see how they have it angled. Because it looks so simple. Oh, it's literally like on top of that. So it's much more simpler than I was expecting. It's supposed to so basically you can see like the little pockets right there. It's supposed to go over it, not like at it like I thought it was gonna be. But it's just like you kind of aim it on top. So you kind of cover it a little bit. And it's like that. Hold on, let me move the box. Okay, let's see. Sorry, editing. There we go. That's pretty much the position with his hand waving and his arm in his pocket. So that's what we're gonna do today with Mr. Kenma. If you liked Haikyu and Haikyu Nendoroids, please check out all my other videos where I go through all the Karasuno team, as well as Nekoma. We've got Kenma, we've got Kuro, we've got Yaku, we've got Lev, we've got that whole team. Eventually, we're gonna have Kuro in this uniform too, but that's not gonna be until much later because he's one of the more recent releases for Haikyu. We also have Aoba Seijo, where we have Oikawa, and we have Iwa-chan, and I have them both in their usual volleyball uniforms. We've seen Oikawa in his school uniform, and don't quote me on this, but I think Iwa has also been released in his school uniform more recently. I think they did Kuro, Akashi, and Iwa in their school uniforms to go with their buddies. We also have the Bokuto and Akashi in their volleyball uniforms, as well as Bokuto in his school uniform, which you just saw. And we do have some, what was the fox school called? Inarizaki? Is that the name of the school they played in the nationals? We do have a couple of those Nendoroids. And we have Ushiwaka as the sole member of his team, but he has a Nendoroid, so we have a lot of captains. If you want to check those out, just check out some of my backlog of my Nendoroid collection videos, because I do have a lot of Haikyu, and we still have a lot more Haikyu coming in the future. But I think this is the last Haikyu one for a while. Don't quote me with that, but if I check my list, I believe we're moving on to some other series for a good moment. But anyway, enjoyed this video. I hope you consider liking and subscribing. I post Nendoroid collection content every Friday at 11 a.m. Every once in a while, I might have an unboxing videos where we do some pop mart, we do some finding unicorns, stuff like that. But those aren't happening as frequently because, you know, collecting blind boxes can get quite expensive, especially in the US nowadays with tariffs and no tariffs and taxes and all that kind of things. All the prices have gone up. So we're doing a little bit less of that, but we'll still do some in the future. I still am working on Nendoroid Collection, Nendoroid crochet tutorials. I'm working on another design that hopefully I'll be able to upload in the future. But if you like that, I have a beanie one and a sweater one for your Nendoroid dolls. So go check those out on my channel as well. And I also run a stationery shop. Ooh, I'm going a million miles with it. I run a stationery shop. It's called A Small Geeky Chica.com. I run a YouTube that goes along with it. So if you like stickers and washi tapes and all those kind of stationery goods, I hope you give it a check and maybe check out the website and see if there's anything you like. I ship anywhere within the United States. No international at the moment, sadly. And I'm still considering maybe in the future I might add some Nendoroid crochet there as well. But no promises. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed Kenma, and I'll see you next week with another Nendoroid collection video. Bye bye!